from these professionals to gradually grow or become independent from these types of European styles or American styles and start creating their own design or their own design style. I think now maybe there are some brands, because what needs to be said is that in China, I'm not sure if there are at least 100 vehicle or car brands. So thank you. Perhaps the smaller ones try to copy or perhaps do copy many types of European brands or many types of American brands, but I think those that are already well in the market, that have been around for a while, already have a history, are gradually creating their own design brand. For example, Seeker, for example, Neo, for example, Cratewall, with their different brands. So I think now each one is becoming more and more independent because they want to establish the market both in China and abroad. And they want the public to know them for a certain style, for a certain quality. So even though the Chinese market is very strong and there are many brands, I think each one wants to gradually try to differentiate itself. And in the end, I believe that over time, I think many Chinese brands will close. Perhaps the smaller ones will be less fortunate, but the larger ones will consolidate.
Very well. Hey, Arturo, sorry, I interrupted you. We were talking about design and so on. After the years you've worked, for example, at a European brand like Volkswagen and now at a more Chinese brand like Neo for years, there's one thing that always catches my attention, and it's the time process between the presentation of the first design and the delivery, where Chinese manufacturers significantly shorten the times, and then between the first version they show us publicly and the final product, which are very, very, very similar in the case of the Chinese, and very different in the case of the Europeans, who show you prototypes that make you say, wow, what a wonderful car, but it's never going to be like that. Whereas the Chinese, on the contrary, present cars that make you say thank you. Wow, maybe not as exaggerated, but then they are much more faithful in the final production part. What do you think about that?
Well, what you're saying is very true. That happened a lot when, for example, when I was at Volkswagen, we always made impressive concepts. And then we saw that the same concept, for example, the ID vision, had nothing to do with the reality of the IDs. So that was a bit demotivating. I mean, it's normal that you want to present your ideas in a big way, right? But many times, due to especially economic and timing issues, it's not possible to achieve those kinds of things. I, for example, know that Volkswagen lately, or for some years now, has been trying to present concepts very close to reality. For example, like the ID2 or other IDs, which just change a little bit in production, but that they are very close because they have realized that in the long run, presenting a prototype and then presenting something else in production